Well, good morning, and today we travel over to Morocco. We left gorgeous Gibraltar, visited fabulous friends, stayed at two lovely locations, and now we're waiting to go through the actual gate into the port itself. Wendy's just getting the passports and the tickets from the safe, and then we're going to set on through. I'm going to ask Wendy to keep this running, but I'm not quite sure about security, so we'll see. So it looks like quite a long drive from the initial gate to the port to where you book in. Wendy's got the camera because I'm driving. But yeah, 2 or 3 fantastic days in Gibraltar. Just catching up with old friends and, you know, what's been happening in the 9 months we've not been there, and just relaxing really. But now it's back to business. Now it's back to getting through Algeciras port, which we've never been through before, and then getting out of Tangir Med at the other side. And of course we got our tickets from Carlos, the famous Carlos. We got those 3 days ago as we went into Gibraltar. One thing you need to know about Gibraltar is that if you drive into Gibraltar, because of certain Spanish requirements, they like you to prove onward travel. So if you can get your tickets, sorry it's bumpy, if you can get your tickets before you go into Gibraltar, if you drive into Gibraltar that is, then it's advisable to do that. Of course, if you park in the marina outside Gibraltar and then you walk in, you don't need proof of onward movement, just with vehicles.
So it says Tangir's empty today, so we need to go to the red one. TTP2 export.
We definitely need to go to the Tangir one,
yeah.
Not the Ceuta.
Yeah.
And then if there's a split for Tangir and Tangir Med, we need to make that choice as well. Well, the beauty is we've got an open ticket, and so if we miss one ferry, we're going to just wait and catch another. Okay, let's have a look. So it's definitely not run to the left.
Cross the roundabout and take the first exit.
Okay, keep with the sat-nav. So with the sat-nav, all I did was find out where the ferry left from, the actual dock itself, and put a waypoint in there. So we're basically following that. However, that might come unstuck if then they reroute us another way once you get into the port, which is why we're just watching the signs now as well. We're travelling heavy today, so I need to really watch these speed bumps. We've got a full tank of fuel, we've got a spare diesel, we've got a full tank of water, we've got food. Obviously we know the shop's over there, but we like to take British comforts over with us from Morrison's in Gibraltar. It's a big port.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
I'm just staying in the centre lane. I mean, typically British. Another speed bump.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
So we've got signs coming up that split us into Tarifa, Ceuta, Tangier, and another one for Ceuta. So I'm going to go Tangir. And the Google Maps is doing exactly the same thing, which is always reassuring.
Cross the roundabout and take the first exit.
So it's over there. See, it says Tangir's.
Whoa, nearly messed up there. Thank you, Wendy.
Keep going round. Go back on yourself.
Really?
Yeah, according to that. It says Tangir's this way.
Okay. That's why I have a good navigator, isn't it?
so they're just bringing it back
Go
on.
around
So
the roundabout and take the second exit.
So there was a little pause in filming there. Obviously, you know, we don't upset people at security barriers, but basically when the camera cut off, we came to a security barrier, and all she wanted was our tickets. So we got an open ticket. I gave her the folder that Carlos gave us. She scanned the QR code and then let us through. So when you go through that barrier, you keep to the right hand side. She tells you, admittedly in Spanish, but she tells you to keep to the right hand side, and you follow it around and you end up parked up in a small car park, what looks like a holding area, to board the ship. But obviously I don't know, because I've never done this before, so we'll see. That guy's taking his tickets into there, but we've got an open ticket, so I'm not quite sure what to do. So we go through the one that says Bellaria. That's our gate when that opens. Yeah, so this big holding area at Algeciras port, basically the same as you do at any other port location. You just queue until you pull forward. It's all got to be very organised because it's a daily, hourly occurrence, so all new to us, but normal jogging for the port staff. Big port, massive. Bit of history about this place, the bit that I know, and although it's anecdotal, I think it's true. So when Franco was in power, they closed the border for Gibraltar from 1969 to 1981 for traffic and pedestrians, and then they opened it in 1985 finally for traffic. Before that, Gibraltar was used heavily as a port, and when the border was closed, Algeciras was a fishing village, and it had to grow in size to take the place of Gibraltar, and now it's absolutely huge. It's definitely no longer a fishing village. There is a lot of freight goes from here. You can see the cranes over there. I suppose it would have happened anyway, because Gibraltar's that small, you wouldn't be able to get anything like that set up over in Gibraltar. But yeah, I was told that little story. It may be true, it may be not. Right, there's nothing seems to be happening here now, so I'm going to stop this and then restart it when we move forward. So at the next stage now, when we last sort of were videoing, we were queuing in another queue. Basically, the offices to the left hand side were just like tax refunds and luggage. We pulled out of where we were, sorry. Then we went left, and then we produced our tickets only at one barrier. Then you pull about 100 meters further than that, and it's passports only at the second barrier. And then you pull in another queue just ready to load the ship, and I think we're just about to load. All the big trucks have gone on, but it looks as though they're getting ready for the smaller vehicles to get on. Right, catch you on board. Just as an update while we sit here, something's crossed my mind. The ramp up onto the ship and up onto the upper deck, if you get directed that way, that's got a bit of a camber on it, as in if you've got a big overhang at the back and your motorhome the ground clearance is not that good, then you may scrape as you go over there. I mean, you know, selfishly we're okay because the Sprinter's got high ground clearance and I've got air suspension, so I'll just pump that up. But if you've not got that and it's a low, most of the modern motorhomes are quite low, makes it easier to get in and out, then it's you might scrape your arse, as it were, as you go up there. You could ask to go underneath, but I'm not quite sure if that's a capacity based decision or it's possible or not possible. Just be wary of that. So you've joined us at the point where we are loading onto the ferry. So it's like a big jigsaw. All the trucks get fitted and slotted in, and then they bring in the motorcycles and the cars and the motorhomes. Just like normal ferries, you wait around until it all slots into place. So the concern I had coming up the ramp, yeah, that's a genuine concern. It's quite steep, so just watch your back end. And if you've got any doubts at all, just try and go on sideways. It is quite wide, so you would be able to do that, but you'd have to speak to the Spanish movers as well, just to explain what you're doing, otherwise it'd look a bit weird. What's the temperature out there? 21, 22? It says 29, but it's not 29, that's for sure. It's about 25. Nah, not even that probably. Yeah. So we're going to the bowels of the ship now. So when we get on here, we'll be looking for a information for a temporary import permit. That's one of the things I'll be looking for when I've parked up and secured. There's a lot of reversing going on and manoeuvring to small places, so that should be fun. But if we get into tight situations, I'll just ask Wendy to get out and reverse us back. As long as you stay calm, you're alright. It's when it gets a bit leery, you know? But we shall see. Right, I'm going to sign off at this point because it'll be me that's going backwards and forwards shortly and I need to concentrate. So here we are, we made it onto the deck. There was a bit of messing about backwards and forwards, but it's all organised, and the port officials make it really obvious that they're in charge, so it all went quite smoothly actually. It's a bit of a weird view for me because I've never been across this side. So looking at Gibraltar over there from across the bay of Gibraltar, it's a bit weird. Never seen it from this angle before. So on the right hand side, the sort of the plateau as it were, that's Bufadero training area. And then follow the ridgeline across to the top of the rock. And our house is somewhere in the middle of those flats. In fact, you can just see it now between those two boats. These tenders are waiting. See the small tender, the small ship next to the big oil and petrol tankers. Because the fuel is so cheap in Gibraltar, that's what all these ships are doing. They're cross-loading from small tender vehicles to large tankers, and then they carry on their journey wherever they're going, anywhere in the world really. Quite a sight, isn't it? And of course that's La Linea over there, and you go around to Campamento, then all the way around to the port of Algeciras, or Algeciras. So when you get on the boat, you've got to go to reception to get your scrap of paper that they give you with, it's all in Moroccan translated to English, and you fill in your details, your passport details, date of birth, place of birth, nationality, where are you going, all that kind of good stuff. And once you've filled that in at reception, then you go forward to see the Moroccan police and you get it stamped and they put you on their database. Once it's stamped, having not gone through that process yet, I'm just about to queue for it, you then leave there with your little bit of paper that you must not lose. So that's going to go in our passports in the safe. And then once you get across to Morocco, it's time to produce this bit of paper, do your passports, and then the rest of it we don't know yet because we've not actually been through that side, so we shall have to wait and see. So They're the dolphins. There's dolphins down there, and I'm really glad we caught them. You can just see them splashing in and out of the water. What a lovely sight. So this is the end of the crossing. Turns out we didn't get our temporary import permit on board ship. We got the form to fill in from reception, filled it in. Then you go to the Moroccan police, join the queue, and you're there. Depending on how long the queue is, but he looks through your passport, takes a piece of paper, stamps your passport. It's as simple as that. We're now waiting to go into Tangir Med. So over there is Tarifa. Next to it, you probably can't see it, but there's Bologna. And Bologna was the little place we stayed at on the waste ground about 4 nights ago. Then we travelled round to Gibraltar, stayed there for a couple of nights, and then made our way across here. I don't know what I expected. It's very green. I suppose, you know, it's only 18 miles across the water. They're not even that, probably. Right, let's see what the port's like, shall we? So this is Tangir Med, and we've just spent the last hour bobbing around in a noggin, waiting for a place to dock to come free. Really busy port, but this is the main port. This is Tangir Med. I mean, all those container ships coming in here. I think we're docking there, maybe we're not. But we're turning round. It's very windy, I hope you can hear this. It's a big old port. Or maybe in fact we're reversing into that jetty there. Which is a bit odd because there doesn't seem to be any infrastructure. Like a normal ferry port, you'd see terminal buildings and other bits and pieces, but it seems quite crude. Just get off and off you go sort of thing, but we'll see when we get off, really. Still see Gibraltar in the background and the Straits of Gibraltar there, and all the container ships moving through. But yeah, about an hour bobbing around in the Oggin, in a queue, waiting to get into this harbour. Gracias. So getting off the boat, the angles are quite severe. So I've put my suspension up, and I'm hoping it don't scrape my arse. And yeah, we're good to go. Whoa, that was close. Wendy's now doing the passports. Yeah, that was quite close. That. Muchas gracias. Thank you. So we're still going to film.
That looks scary.
Yeah. So when we were driving off the ferry, that's a bit of a free-for-all. Unlike anything else we've ever known in Europe, you just join the queue and get out. There's a lot of shouting going on, and that's about it. Where do I go now? Exit.
Well,
okay.
Yeah,
exit.
but we need to get the insurance first.
Yeah. My suspension is like pumped up, so I need to pull over to drop that as well. So now we're going to pull through a port, and as Wendy said, we're going to try and pull over to get insurance. But yeah, getting off the ship, that was quite an angle. So we're just following the exit signs now. Get somewhere where we can get the insurance. past this guy here. Doing my best. What's this? Insurance?
I don't know. No, for insurance?
Insurance!
It's what? It's closed.
No insurance?
No insurance? Okay. Well, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's alright. Well, before the exit signs, it says exit run to the left.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do. Yeah.
I think maybe because it's customs and everything, I think now is a good time to just stop it recording.
Yeah, we'll turn it off. Should be okay. So basically we've just driven around. You follow the exit signs, it's quite straightforward. And now we've got to a place where we're going to drive through a scanner, which we knew about because we've done the research. But whilst I'm here, I'm also going to let the suspension down because it's quite high. It looks like a 4x4. That's fine. Should be okay now. And if we need to lay it down a bit more, I can lay it down a bit more because it's going to be bumpy. So yeah, this sometimes happens. So I've been reading about, where you get to this end and you know you got to go through the scanner to get into Morocco. You definitely got to get a scan to come out, but to get a scan to go into Morocco as well.
Sorry.
So you can see the motorhomes going through and the vehicles going through. The scanner's actually behind us. Can you see the scanner?
Can't see them.
So there is a delay at this end. We still haven't got insurance yet, so we need to get insurance before we leave, or get some kind of indication where we can get insurance. But probably we're going to turn this camera off now before we go through the scanner, because I don't think it'll appreciate extra camera. So we'll catch you in a bit. So this is us queuing for the scanner on the way in. Looks like you can fit about 7 or 8 cars, maybe 9 cars in. But everyone's queuing up, and you get these people, I think the refugees, I don't know, but they're gobbing off through the fence over there. They've moved down to bug somebody else now, but it's quite in your face. One of the guys out of this car got out and gave them something, so I just, there they are. So I presume they are begging or something. But yeah, here's the queue with a scanner. It does slow you down, so when you get off the ship, follow the exit signs, keep following the exit signs all the way around until you get to this here, then queue. You obviously get out of the vehicle when they scan it, otherwise you're going to get zapped. So they scan it, the scanner goes back, and then you're on your way. And then, hopefully, we can get to somewhere with some insurance. So that was a guy out there selling SIM cards, but we've been warned off not to buy the SIM cards in the port. Best place to buy SIM cards is local shops. You need to get insurance in the port, easier said than done, we haven't found it yet. And get the SIM card in the local shops, you get a better deal. Right, let's see how this goes. I just thought I'd include this actually. This is a scanner taking place. So it's actually driving, there's someone mandrolically driving backwards and forwards to do a scan. You think they'd come up with a better way, wouldn't you? Like on rails or something. This guy's in his truck. His only job is to reverse and pull forward like 150 metres, not even that, 100 metres. Every day. Day in, day out. Wow. Wow. So we're still queuing for the scanner, and what happens is you once you get on the scanner, you hand them the V5. So make sure you've got your V5 ready to present to the guy. He takes the V5 away, or the equivalent of your ownership document. In the UK it's a V5. He takes it into the scanning office, and then he lines all the vehicles up, as we can see there. Quick shot of that so I don't get telling off, and then the vehicles get scanned. So yeah, have your V5s ready. So here we are, still in the port. Just to let you know that when you go through the scanner, you then drive to another search area that the police are at, and the lady that we got was a bit ratty. She calmed down. It was just my misunderstanding. I was just not understanding the direction she was giving us, so she was frustrated, and I was trying to keep as calm as possible. All worked out in the end. They look around the motorhome, ask if you've got any drones or guns or explosives or anything you shouldn't have. It was a cursory search. She did, I don't know, 50% search of most places. There were vans in there that were getting ripped apart, so just be aware of that. You might be unlucky if you're, you know, that van on that day that's going to be targeted for a search. But as you drive out, you get this area here, and this is where you get your insurance from. Do not leave the port without insurance. We got 3 months insurance for 2010 dirham, about 180 euros, which is, having done the research beforehand, which is the going price. So yeah, you do stand the chance of being ripped off at these places, but this is not an example of that. We also got the Sims here as well. These guys, perfect English, absolutely perfect English, cat assurance and reassurance. They sold us the Sims. We bought one data with 30 gigs for 25 euros, I think, and one with 7.5 gigs for 10 euros. The 7.5 gigs one is basically for calls only, to call my dad, because he doesn't do smartphones. He's 96 years old, so he doesn't know the right end of a smartphone. So we got one for calls, which is gone in my phone, and that was the 7.5 gigabyte. It'll get used for calls only probably. And the 25 wrong, the 30 gigabyte one went in our Teltonica router. We've got a Teltonica router, pointing antenna, basically provides us a Wi-Fi zone around the motorhome. We remembered to take the EE card out before we left Europe, because if that starts to connect once you get to Europe. It's not allowed? Okay, sorry, I apologise. I've got to turn this off now.